Yes, I'm extremely busy preparing for the award ceremony, so this better be important. Not at all. I was assured that this particular ship was outfitted with the absolute latest and cutting-edge security. I am completely confident that Trident Luxury Lines will keep all of us safe. Probably in a few days. I don't want the award transfer to actually occur until we're safely in orbit at our destination. Of course, if I keep getting interrupted, the ceremony might never take place at all. Yes, I am. Actually, I've been entrusted with the transfer of the award for the last 7 of its 9 years. Why do you ask? Well, the Earth Savior Award is one of a kind. The Blue Diamonds alone are irreplaceable. Since we can't produce a new award every year, it's instead passed from one recipient to the next. I supervise the transfer and make certain that there's ample security during transport and at the destination. Yes, it's quite marvelous, isn't it? Absolutely priceless. Alas, I'm afraid you'll just have to wait for the ceremony to see it in all its glory. It's far too valuable to be left anywhere else except the master safe located at the purser's office. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have much more important things on my agenda than to speak to the likes of you.
Have you tried the canapes? Horrid. Positively horrid. You don't necessarily have to be wealthy to contribute, though the minimum donation level is 5,000 credits. Benjamin Bayou of Neon won the award the first time it was presented, but he dropped out of the society a couple years back. The considerable amounts of cash that Dombrowski donates is the only reason we allow him to attend society functions.
The Society is such a worthy cause. What could be more important than the preservation of the Earth's spirit? That award is such a joke. It's for members of the Society to pat their own backs for spending the most money on the cause. Larry likes to drop overly complex words into conversations. I'm sure he knows that it annoys people, but he does it anyway. The Society Chair has really outdone herself this time. His behavior towards women is abominable. That man really ought to be ashamed of himself. I missed out on the award to someone else last year, so this year I doubled my contributions to the Society. Fingers crossed. I'm a silver member of the Society, but only 100,000 more credits, and I hit the gold tier.
Here for business or pleasure? It's critical that the Society keeps the memories of Earth alive in our hearts. I'm doing my part by attending this spectacular event. Sheila Holbrook is chair of the award committee this year. The way she dotes over that glorified trophy, you'd think it was her own child. He's been spending a lot of time with Claudia Swist. Quality time, if you catch my meaning? I'm certain his wife doesn't know a thing about it.
Sorry, do I know you? Okay, wait, are you seriously, are you trying to pick me up? Look, I appreciate the compliment, but I'm already seeing someone, and my partner doesn't like competition. He gets very jealous. Who? Look, can you just cut to the chase already? What's this about? I can't believe this is happening. I told Larry to keep his big mouth shut, but did he listen? No. He had to impress his friends and treat me like a trophy. Look, I've been in this business for a long time, and I know how this game works, so let's skip all the banter and get it over with. What's it gonna take to make us both happy? You're not very bright, are you? I'm a grade C3 exec at Galbang. That means my credentials get me into two places, the front door and the ladies' room. If that's all you really want, you're certainly welcome to them. If I give you dirt on that son of a bitch Dombrowski, all I'm doing is endangering myself. Why would I do that? What the hell? Dombrowski has us mixed up with the Crimson Fleet? That's true. You have come this far already. All right, you've made your point. You know, this whole thing really pisses me off. Larry and I had the perfect scheme worth thousands of credits all worked out, and then he goes and flushes the whole thing down the toilet.
I do not understand. Your anger is focused on Mr. Dombrowski, but clearly the failure of this plan rests on you as well.
If you had to work near him day in and day out, I think you'd understand. He's a disgusting pig, plain and simple. I didn't know who the hell you were. For all I knew, you were working for Dombrowski. It's called playing it cool. You should try it sometime. I'm not gonna tell you. Let's just say that I'd be sent to prison for a long time if Galbank figured it out. Yeah, I'm getting to that. Larry got together with myself and this other guy, Gabriel Vera. He's some bigwig over at UC Security. I doctored the transactions, Larry wiped them off the system, and Vera kept the legal pressure off of us. We were scamming Galbank for months. It was going well until I discovered Larry was cheating everyone by changing each transaction in his favor before deleting them. Oh, I know he was using me. At the same time, he was saying how much he loved me. He was stringing me along and stabbing me in the back. I was going to confront him back on Jemison, but then he invited me on this little trip through the stars. All expenses paid, first-class accommodations, the works. I figured, why not wait until I've milked him for every credit he's spending before I drop the hammer? I wish I had some. Maybe you should try talking to Gabriel Vera. He should be around here somewhere. If he doesn't want to cooperate, just mention my name. That should grab his attention. Good luck. You're gonna need it. What, are you writing a damn novel? Fine. Vera works for UC Security, so he kept a lookout on their commnet for any Galbank chatter. I guess you could call him our early warning system. And Dombrowski made sure that all of the crypto manipulation I was working on didn't turn up in Galbank's automatic audits. You need top clearance for that kind of access, so we had to cut him in, whether we liked it or not. What do you think is going on? I'm using that gullible idiot to get what I want. If I have to squash him on my way to the top, then so be it. Let's get one thing straight. Larry Dombrowski's no saint. He deserves everything that's coming to him.
That is perhaps not the most helpful thing one could say right now, regardless of how true it may be.
Where the hell do you get off judging me? You don't know that asshole like I do, okay? Dombrowski is a piece of human garbage. He'd stab you in the back for table scraps, then stab you again to steal dessert. The plan's always been to milk the guy for everything he's worth, and then leave him in the dust. Not bad for a lowly Galbank worker drone, right? I wrote a computer algorithm that basically creates a randomized number of false ghost credits that mimic the crypto key of actual credits. Then the algorithm simply passes the ghost credits to whatever legit transfers that the bank transacts. The genuine credits enter a dummy account. The best part is that I also alter the crypto keys as the real cash flows into our accounts. By the time it lands in our pockets, the creds are clean. So, on paper, it appears that all of the bank's transactions are covered, when it's really just our ghosted dummy creds. Genius, right?
Welcome to the purser's office. I'm Chief Purser Murata. How can I be of assistance today? An excellent question. My responsibilities include all of the Siren's financial, customs, and commercial goods transfers. Honestly, I really enjoy the work. I get to meet people at every port of call instead of being constantly stuck below decks. Oh, absolutely. The safe is magnetically sealed and shielded with multiple layers of fully damage-resistant, vacuum-proof plating. In the unlikely event our vessel is boarded and the threat detection alarm is triggered, the safe will be permanently sealed until it reaches port. In the even more unlikely event this ship is destroyed, we can assure you that your loved ones will be able to recover your goods from the wreckage. So, as you can imagine, your property will be completely secure until you decide to retrieve them from our safe. I've only seen it briefly myself, but I can assure you that it's quite lovely. Unfortunately, the item is locked inside of our safe, which can only be accessed by presenting an appropriate claim ID. Is there anything else I can assist you with today? Well, if you change your mind, I'll be here. Have a wonderful trip. I'm sorry. It's against Trident policy to discuss our personal feelings towards a fellow crewmate. You do? All right, but you didn't hear this from me. Do you understand? I don't want to lose my job. I like Captain Rokov, but I think he's mixed up with some very dangerous people. I was bringing some paperwork to his quarters one day, and I found a slate with a message he received from someone named Delgado. That would normally be fine, but the message mentions the Crimson Fleet, as in pirates. Can you believe it? If you want to grab it, the slate should still be in his quarters. Somewhere.
Must you continue these unwelcome interruptions? I'm a very busy woman. Excuse me? And why in goodness name would I do something as foolish as that? And why in goodness name would I possibly agree to that ridiculous demand? I really hope so. I mean, it might be okay. Oh, just take the damn thing already. Listen, maybe you can keep this between us. If the award goes missing, there's no need for the insurance company to get involved.
Hello. You here for the charity event? Oh, absolutely. I'm a firm believer that attending these types of events tends to absolve one of their sins and cleanse their soul. But something tells me you're not really here to discuss the event. What did you really want to talk about? Dombrowski, he's the exec holding court over in the VIP area of the ballroom. Yeah, sorry, I work for UC Security, not Galbank. I don't really know him personally. To be honest, I'm here to keep an eye on the charity event. It might not be as glamorous an assignment as a colony rescue or taking down some criminals, but anything that keeps the peace is important to me. What is this all about, anyway? You mean specifically? Oh, I work for the Corporate Fraud Division. We monitor all of the major megacorp financials and transactions to ensure that nothing improper occurs. You're asking a lot of strange questions. What exactly do you want? Claudia sent you, did she? Look, friend, I don't know if you're just a little drunk, maybe a touch crazy, or both. Whatever you think you know about me, you're dead wrong. So back off.
We both know exactly who you are.
Sure, go ahead. If it makes you feel better, you can take it right to the top of mast. Anything you try to report will boil down to your word against mine. And since I work for UC Security, What do you think people will believe?
I saw your little exchange with Vera. Keep that up and I guarantee that imbecile's gonna demand that you be arrested. Oh, absolutely. He's up the ladder at UC Security. Lots of pull. We have to handle this very delicately. Which is why he's threatening you. That makes sense. We need hard evidence of their scheme. But it's gonna be tricky. The problem is he's not gonna talk to you in public. We need to get Vera isolated so he'll spill everything he knows. Maybe. But if something goes wrong and he's able to raise an alarm, we're sunk. With all of these wealthy patrons aboard, the ship is crawling with security. Yeah, that's smart. Kill Vera, or anyone else involved in his conspiracy, and then Dombrowski heads for the hills. Besides, you really want to ace a member of UC Security and have them breathing down your neck? You'll be the top story on SSNN. No, there has to be a safer way. Smart. If there's an emergency, standard practice is for all passengers to clear the decks and report to their cabins for lockdown. I think the best chance we have would be to tamper with the life support sensors. Manipulate a few controls, and you can fool the monitoring system into thinking there's a life support failure. And there you have your emergency. This is one of Trident's premier starliners. That means it has the best of everything, including a triple redundancy life support system. They installed a backup for the backup. Luckily for us, it will still trip an emergency and everyone will have to return to their quarters until I sound the all clear, which I won't.
Your lack of commitment does not exactly fill me with confidence. Are you sure this is a good idea?
Don't worry. It'll be as easy as it was mingling with the guests at the party. Just throw a few lousy switches and you're done. One more thing. If Chief Engineer Sundin gives you any trouble, tell him I'll erase that gambling debt he owes me. I prefer you use that as a last resort, but hey, what's the harm in losing a few credits when I'm on the brink of rejoining the fleet, right? Anyway, I better start packing. Things are getting hot around here, and won't be long before Trident figures out you had help. There's access to the crew section that you can reach through the Starview Ballroom. Chief Sundin should be there, wasting time at his station as usual. Have fun with that guy. He's a real piece of work. Once you're past Sundin, just look for the room marked Environmental Control. Everything you need is inside. All passengers are instructed to immediately report to their cabins. That way we keep the halls clear and avoid a panic. Fortunately for us, all of the passenger cabin doors will automatically unlock. This is normally to ensure the crew can check cabins quickly and without interference. But in our case, it's like having an all-access pass. On the surface, he's an upstanding citizen of the United Colonies, pretty high up in UC Security. Lots of clout with mast. Underneath, he's a greedy piece of garbage. Given the chance, he'd backstab you for a cret stick and pin the murder on someone else. Come to think of it, if he wasn't such a petty tyrant, he'd probably thrive with the Crimson Fleet.
Hold up. This area is off limits to passengers. Wait a second. You're Captain Rokov's guest, right? Didn't expect to see you down here. Sorry to give you trouble. What can I do for you? Yeah, a little. A few of the techs call this deck the dungeon. I think you can see why. Not exactly Starliner-class comfort down here. Don't get me wrong. The quiet gives me time to gather my thoughts, catch up on work, and all that, but I'd rather work on the bridge. I'm the Siren's chief engineer. Trident put me in charge of the entire tech team. We do our best to keep the ship running smoothly and efficiently. Of course, this beauty is a cutting-edge piece of spacecraft design. Almost everything has triple redundancy, like the life support system. Unfortunately, that means there's quite a bit of downtime. Could be worse, though, right? Oh, sorry, that area's off limits. No exceptions. Oh, really? Well, that changes things quite a bit. Tell you what, I'm just going to step out for a bit and stretch my legs. Maybe you can hold this for me while I'm away?
I was wondering if you were the cause of the ship-wide emergency. It's time you stop playing games and tell me why you're here. Doesn't take a genius to deduce you're the one that's responsible. I locked onto you from the moment you entered the ballroom, and I've watched you trying to clock Dombrowski. After we spoke, I had a feeling you'd pull a stunt like this. You want me to help you? Are you completely out of your mind? I help you by handing over evidence, and I end up incriminating myself. Why would I do that?
All passengers, may I have your attention, please? The captain has declared a ship-wide emergency.
I don't know where you got
Please
that
report to
information
your
from,
cabins in an orderly
but it lines
fashion.
up with all the troubles I've been
Remain
having
there
getting
until
my
you
cut
receive
from that
further
asshole.
instructions.
That means my money's already gone. And Dombrowski's going to walk away with a fortune. I'd love to see the bastard fry. But if I give you that information and it falls into the wrong hands, I could end up in jail. Dombrowski had the authorization to wipe out records on Galbank's system without raising any red flags. I let Claudia talk me into that. She said she had him wrapped around her finger. Apparently, she was wrong. Oh, I've got everything you're gonna need. This is a one-stop shop for you. We're talking a slate loaded with dates, account numbers, ID scans, even an audio recording. It was my little insurance policy in case the shit hit the fan. There's a solid enough trail here to send Dombrowski straight to jail. At least I walk away with something. All right, you have yourself a deal. Here, with this slate and this recording to tie it all together, you'll be able to nail his ass to the wall. He'll do whatever you want. Just remember that you promised to leave me out of it. All I can tell you is that there's more than a few people at Mast who find Commander Akande to be a huge pain in the ass. I mean, the UC is aware that the Crimson Fleet is a problem,
All
but
passengers,
it pales in
may I have
comparison
your
to the
attention,
issues with the
please?
Freestar Collective.
The captain has declared a
Akande's loaded with
ship-wide
big-picture
emergency.
ideas, but not a
Please
ton of
report to your
evidence to put them
cabins
into
in an
action.
orderly fashion,
And frankly,
remain there
it's
until you
driving my
receive
superiors
further
crazy.
instructions.
Well, since Claudia has been spending time disgustingly close to Dombrowski, I think she's suffered enough. On the other hand, I've got very, very special plans for Larry. I have some friends that can, well, let's just say, take care of the problem. That's if you leave him alive, of course. We'll just have to wait and see. Wait a moment. Are you telling me that this scheme is getting so out of hand, it also involves the Crimson Fleet? That's all I need right now. Enemies on two fronts. Just because I'm helping you nail Dombrowski doesn't mean I'm turning my back on UC security. How else am I going to ensure that he ends up behind bars when all this comes crashing down? No. You can leave me out of your merry little band of pirates. Thank you very much.
Well, well. You must be the one who's been accosting Claudia and Gabriel. I'm uncertain what you hope to accomplish here, but it appears we should rapidly enter into some sort of negotiation. You don't actually believe that I'd venture into such precarious criminal territory without a proper bird's-eye view of the situation, do you? I'm uncertain why you've become entangled in this spider's web, but this situation demands swift and resolute action. Au contraire, my misguided friend. There's a bargain that needs to be hammered out, and you will listen to the facts before we proceed. First, it's clear that you've obtained insider knowledge of my arrangement to defraud Galbank. The means and the method, perhaps, but not the motive. And second, I'm going to hypothesize that my compatriots are despondent regarding their share and have assisted you with this endeavor. Since we're speaking and I'm not at the reporting end of a bullet, this leads me to conclude that you desire something personal from me.
All passengers, may I have your attention, please? The captain has
see.
declared a ship-wide
That certainly
emergency.
places a damper on our
Please report to
negotiations.
your cabins in an orderly
Perhaps I can
fashion
hasten my
and remain
diatribe
there
to temper
until you
your
receive further
violence-ridden
instructions.
contribution. In blunt terms, you have compromising materials about me in your possession. The only thing I have to offer in return are my Galbank credentials. I assume that's what you've been angling for all along?
Will there be much more of this? My head is starting to hurt.
Well, I'm surprised you even posed that question at all. The answer is quite obvious. The last thing I'd want to do at this point is call attention to myself. Obviously, that wouldn't be my preference, but I have little choice. Though Larry Dombrowski will be mysteriously vanishing after this cruise, and possession of the credentials becomes ludicrous at that point. Oh, it was actually a rather easy deduction to make. It's the only thing of significant value that I still have in my possession. It appears we've reached an accord. Wait, I'm sorry. Let me simplify that for you. It sounds like we have a deal. Oh, of course, I trust you'll understand if I ask for us to avoid any further contact. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to formulate how I'm going to utterly ruin two very annoying business associates. Good day.
Well, looks like everything worked out, just like we planned. I wish you hadn't blown away the gambling debt that Sandine owed me. But hey, you got the job done. I'm glad you feel that way. Just remember to tell Delgado how much I pitched in to help. You know, I'm still wondering exactly what you needed those credentials for. You feel like telling me, partner? I usually have a nose for these things, but in your case, it's a mystery. Very frustrating. Whatever the case may be, it's apparently worth risking your life over. That's telling me it involves a lot of money. That also means I want in.
Please report to your cabins in an orderly fashion and remain there until
So
you
he told
receive
you to keep
further
it from me.
instructions.
I see. I wouldn't want you to risk your position with the fleet like I did, so I'll just leave it alone. Anyway, I suppose there's nothing stopping me from rejoining the fleet now. It's been a long time coming. I owe you one, Doverbeach. Don't worry, it's not an insult. It's a very old Russian word for comrade. It's what I intend to call you from now on, so get used to it. Nonsense. If there's one universal constant you can depend on, it's that Yevgeny Rokov always makes good on his deals. Always. Well, I suppose this is where we part company. Hopefully the next time we meet, we'll be aboard the Key.
remember our last conversation, when you told me the artifacts made you feel like you were being pulled across the entire galaxy? Well, it got me thinking. So I dove into our archives and started looking through Constellation's older journal entries. Just because I wasn't familiar with the experience you described, doesn't mean the same might have been true for my predecessor. Unfortunately, no. Other than you and Barrett, there were no records of direct encounters with the artifacts. I have to admit, though, I did get more than a bit sidetracked reminiscing about old times. Really? I'm surprised that I haven't. After reading those journals, all of the pleasant memories of my time spent with Aja just started flooding back. Aja Mamasa. She was the youngest member of Constellation when it was founded. Only took her 15 years to reach chair. Sorry, I sometimes get so caught up in my own bubble, I forget that I wasn't the first. She absolutely was. Aja was the one that taught me the ropes at Constellation and took me under her wing as her protege. Yeah, I thought so too. That's why I adopted her methods. You know, Aja and I logged quite a few interesting discoveries together. But it was the journey itself that I'll never forget. We catalogued unusual stellar phenomena, a few habitable worlds, and some unique life forms, but nothing SSNN would bother to report. Exactly. For me, it was all about the quieter moments. There was nothing quite like sitting back and watching space bend while listening to Aja spin vivid stories to fill the time. Oh, I find that sort of cozy isolation the best way to really get to know someone. Yeah, you know, being alone in interstellar space, nothing but light years of black around you. Some people find that terrifying. I find it comfortable. It helps me bond with my shipmates. At this point, I'd say you've graduated from protege and moved up the ladder. A bit. You know, all this talk about Aja reminds me that my time with her was a gift. I miss her dearly. I respected her, and I considered her a dear friend, but we weren't in love. Had that been true, I would have resigned my post and moved to Parima 2 instead of remaining at Constellation. Come to think of it, if we're ever out that far, perhaps we could pay her a visit, and I could make proper introductions. Oh, don't worry. There's no bad blood between us. The worst that might happen is you get stuck listening to two old friends catching up on old times. Well, I don't expect you to be a carbon copy of Aja. Just be yourself. You see, it's clear that we share the same hunger to discover what's out there. And that, well, that's what intrigues me about you. Good. Then we're both on the same page. Anyway, that's all I had to discuss for now, so if you'd point the way, we can continue our journey.
Hello. Welcome to the... the Galbank Archives. May I see your credentials, please? Just one moment while I verify. Oh, yes, Mr. Dombrowski. Welcome, sir. Give me a moment to log your visit, and then I'll unseal the archives. Me? No. Look, this is my first day on the job. Just cut me some slack, okay? I can't afford to lose it. I got a wife and kids to feed. Everything checks out. Give me a moment to log your visit, and then I'll unseal the archives. There we go. Have a wonderful day.
I got a new account for you. This one breaks my heart a little, because we got a mercenary here, but the good kind. He was an upstanding citizen. He took out loans, paid them on time, every time. And about a year ago, he maxed out his credit and vanished, leaving us with a sizable account in arrears. It took some digging, but we have the name of the planet he's on. Almost always they were business investments. New fancy sidearm, repairing a ship. Guy saw a lot of action. Often he was living a good life, but you hit setbacks in his line of work. We considered him a good investment, a decent, hard-working member of the community. There you go. I know I keep harping on this, but go easy on the guy. Maybe he's hit some real bad luck. It could happen to any of us, right?
I should have known it. There's no hole deep enough, no rock desolate enough that Galbank won't find you in time. If you're here for payment, I've got none to give. Sold everything to retire comfortably, in obscurity. I spent my life trying to get ahead. No matter how much I tried, it never took. So these past few, I've just been barely scraping by. The marks keep getting younger, and my ship just keeps getting older. At a certain point, I knew the game was rigged. So I maxed out my limits and headed off. As you can see, I'm not looking to live a life in luxury, just a simple, quiet life. I believe you. Not that it matters. Listen, I won't go peaceful, and I can't pay you. So the way I see it is you have a choice. We fight and see who's lucky. Or dead. Or maybe you leave here. Say it was a bum lead. It happens from time to time. Give an old fellow a peaceful retirement. Well, I maxed out my credit limit. So, 10,000 credits. I mean, with all the interest payments I've made over the years, Galbank still made a profit off me. You have no idea what this means to me. Listen, stranger, I've seen a lot of things, but nothing like you. Take this. My sidearms seen me through more scrapes than I could count. It's just gathering dust now. You deserve it.
You look like you've got news. It better be good news. Okay, come on. Don't keep me in suspense. When do I ship out? What? How could it be better? Oh, come on. Quit messing with me and just tell me already. Wow, really? Let's see. Unique in the history of the Vanguard. That's good, right? Okay, finally some real recognition. Thanks for doing the legwork here. I'm not gonna forget that you helped me out. And someday, when I'm running the Vanguard, I'm gonna make sure you get paid big time. For now, though, my account's a little light, so this is the best I can do. But really, I mean it. I'm gonna remember this.
Anything new to report? We'll provide you with information, but any inventory or ship services, it's best you get from the fleet. It'll help you maintain your cover and also give you an idea of how the fleet's operation works. They're pirates in every sense of the word, but they've managed to get more organized under their current leadership. That makes them especially dangerous, but hopefully it makes them a little more predictable too. Well done. Let's see what you found. Are you kidding me? Dombrowski was already making a 6-figure salary, and yet he couldn't resist starting an embezzlement scheme. It makes me sick. It's gonna be an absolute pleasure to throw his butt in prison. That it? It's amazing that all this romantic nonsense about Crix's legacy really just amounts to a rumor Jasper Crix picked up in jail. It just goes to show you how a tiny rumor can snowball into a full-blown fairy tale. Anything else? All right. Keep up the good work.
Get you a drink? Yeah. Working around this lot, day in, day out. You'd think they wouldn't give a damn. Ha! Now that sounds about right. I guess I'm thinking of my dear old Maddie. The only woman I ever loved. Almost married her, I did. But I missed my chance and lost her to one of my best mates. I'll tell you what, you want to help an old man out. Bring me back the one thing of Maddie's that ever meant anything to me. Her ring. Maddie had my eye back in the day. Thing was, she had the eye of my best mate, too. A bloke by the name of Clay Dietrich. Clay and I hit a luxury liner, snatched a ring I knew Maddie would love. Before I could say anything, Clay asked if he could have it, and he used it to propose. Long story short, Clay married Maddie, and they ran off to raise hell with Ecliptic. And then he got the poor girl killed. You're in luck. Clay showed up on my radar a bit ago. Probably why I'm in a bigger rut than usual. I'll send you the details. I don't care how you do it. Just get that ring back.
Your buddy Rokov is aboard the Key. Told me everything that happened.
Yeah, he won't shut up about you. Keeps going on and on. Now I remember why we kicked his ass out the fleet. Yeah, that'd be a first.
All right, Neva, you've made your point. Well, since you're vouching for Rokov, I guess we can give him another chance. All right, now that is out of the way, we can move on to the matter at hand. Crix's legacy. Speaking of which, let me see that data you copied from the Galbank archives. Ah, so the Galbank transport went down over Bannock 4. Bannock. Why does that sound familiar? Neva?
Yeah, keep your panties on. I'm looking it up. And I got it. Bannock 4. Let's see. Damn it. Bannock 4 is an EM-class gas giant. We can't even get a ship near the thing without frying every circuit aboard. Don't know that one, huh? Well, pick up your pencil. There's gonna be a test on this later. EM-class means the planet is giving off a ridiculously high amount of electromagnetic radiation. We're talking off the charts here. Fly your ship anywhere near one of these death traps, and you'll blow every single circuit on your ship. You'd be dead in space. Get it? Yeah, sure. We'll just wrap your ship in a ton of copper and launch you right in there. That ought to do the trick, right?
Both of you shut up and think for a second. I'm sure Crix hit the same roadblock. All we need to do is figure out how he got around it.
This sounds like a goddamn waste of time to me.
The Rook's right. We tackle one problem at a time. Can we track it, Neva?
That transponder is military grade. We're talking ultra-bit encryption, constantly reshuffling frequencies. We don't have shit like that laying around. But before you get that pissy look on your face, I heard that the UC's been working on a ship signal decryption system called the ComSpike. We grab that little beauty, and we'll be able to track anything you want.
All right, here is the plan, so shut up and listen. Rook, I want you and Neva to put your heads together and get us that ComSpike. I don't care if it's mounted at the top of mast. I want it. In the meantime, I'm going to find out more about this EM-class gas giant problem. And I think I know just who to ask.
Give me a little time to crunch the numbers on the comm spike with Jazz, and I'll point us in the right direction.
We do or we die. That's the way Crix did things. And that is the way we should have been doing it for years. It's as simple as that.
I promise. You gonna write that in your diary, little girl?
All right, that is enough. We are in arm's reach of Crix's legacy, and I don't have time to deal with this kind of bullshit. Now, both of you, get the hell out of here and get to work.
All right, let's get this over with. Follow me. All right, let's get right to it. Did you get the Earth Savior Award, or am I gonna be very disappointed?
First of all, this is my section of the key, so I'm gonna stand here for as long as I want. And second of all, I know all about that award and your deal with Neva. We don't keep secrets between us. Just throttle down and give her the damn thing already so we can get to work.
Well, that's because you'd be absolutely right. You see, everyone above you in the fleet is making more than you are off the same gig. That's why we're all fighting our way to the top. Understood? Good. Now, you might want to hand over that award before I have you tossed off the key. Just a thought. Well, well, look at that. You followed my directions, and now you're gonna end up with some credits in your pocket. Of course, it would have been more money if you hadn't blabbed about the damn thing to Rokoff, but that's on you. Anyway, here's your cash. Keep this up, and I might even start respecting you. All right, Fleet? We've all got work to do, so let's get to it.